Welcome to the Cookbook, where we invite guests on to share the ingredients of what has helped make them the successes that they are. All of it, the good, the not so good. You're not going to find anything half-baked here. And our kitchen gets messy sometimes. That's when the fun starts. So come on and join us. Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of The Cookbook. So today, and I know I say this all the time, you're like, oh my God, you say how excited you are about everybody, but dig it. If I wasn't excited about the guest that I was having on, they wouldn't be on, right? So today I'm super excited about our guest. Not only is she an amazing entrepreneur, but she's also family. So that kind of makes it a little interesting. Although we haven't seen each other in, well, we'll talk about that, probably about 10 years. So without further ado, I'm going to talk about Judy. Judy Heft is the founder and president of Judith Heft and Associates, celebrating over 21 years, helping high net worth individuals and small businesses with bookkeeping and bill pay. Judy Heft is an author, financial organizer, bookkeeper, and much more. In her role as a professional and personal financial organizer, Judy combines her talents and experience in organization and financial assistance. Recognizing the unique needs of each of her clients, Judy steps in with customized organization services, including bill paying, financial record keeping, tracking of expenses and contributions, and related correspondence with banks, vendors, insurance companies, and healthcare providers. Her book, How to Be Smart, Successful, and Organized for a Better Today and Tomorrow, is available on Amazon. And just a little bit more, Judy has a passion for helping people get organized, save money, and have more time to enjoy life. Her clients have included time-challenged executives, divorcees, young families, older adults, and individuals with special needs. Judy combines extensive business management experience with a strong sense of caring for each of her clients. In her more than 2 decades of experience in the retail industry, she developed broad-based abilities to handle a wide range of financial matters. Holy crap, Julie, you've done like a whole bunch. Judith Heft and Associates has built its reputation on making order out of chaos. And I'm just going to say I need that in my life. Whether you are looking for a professional, personal, or financial organizer, need a bookkeeper, or require a daily money manager, Judith Heft and Associates can help by simplifying your life and giving you more time to do what you want to do. Judy is the co-founder and group coordinator of CT Gotham Dinner Group and is the co-founder of a mastermind group for women business owners. Whew, holy shit. Well, without further ado, let's meet Judy.
Hi, Iris. Oh, thank you so much for that great introduction.
Well, that's really your bio. I didn't make any of it up. So, I mean, that's all you. And how much did I leave off? So we'll talk about that in a minute. But, you know.
It was exciting to have someone read all of that. I mean, I think I wrote that a while ago, but to have you say all of that made me feel very important.
Well, you are. I mean, in a lot of ways, right? So we'll just get the family piece out of the way. So Judy's daughter, Willa, who I adore, she's phenomenal. Like, you have to meet her because there's just like nobody like her. Married my nephew. They got divorced. We kept Willa in the divorce, which we're very fortunate about, or fortunate for. And so Judy is Willa's mom. On top of all of her other accomplishments, she raised 2 amazing girls, but Willa's just phenomenal. So I just want to throw that out there. So Willa, if you're listening, you know how much you're loved. Okay, we got that out of the way. So now,
you too, by the way, I'll just throw that in there. She does.
Oh, thank you. She's just so awesome. So what I left out on your bio, I mean, talk about it, because I left out probably like 3 more paragraphs.
So I just recently wrote my second book, and I guess that wasn't in there because I didn't send you the bio, Mastering Your Financial Life Cycles, which is really exciting. So I co-authored that with my CFO, Liz Levy. And what we did was, you know, on our years of experience, we have seen so much that people have left out of their challenges of their daily money management or of their lifestyle. So we decided to write a book that concentrates on every decade of life and what you need to know, and some of our experiences and some of the mistakes that we've made or mistakes that we've seen different clients make over the years. So hopefully this is a really great guide, a step-by-step guide of everything you need to know from having a baby to planning for retirement.
Wow. And what's the name of the book? Kofi, let's scroll that.
Mastering Your Financial Life Cycles.
Okay, Mastering Your Financial Life Cycles on Amazon. You can get, there it is.
Amazon.
Okay, now for those of you who are listening, it's Managing Your Financial Lifestyles. For those of you who view it, well, you just saw the book cover. So
it's Managing Your Financial Life Cycles.
Life Cycles. Okay, he's going to scroll that in a minute. So with that said, explain some of that, like, what's in the book.
Yeah, so like I said before, so every chapter is a different decade of life. So we start from birth and what you need to know, how to plan, how to, what are you going to do? You're getting married and you're getting started and you have this new baby. Do I need insurance? Do I need term? Do I need whole life? What are some of the things that I need to do to talk about that? We also talk about couples that are starting to get married. Do you need a prenup or do you even need a postnup? If you didn't do a prenup, how do you handle that? Keeping your finances separate, not commingling. If you have a business, how do you handle that? Your personal and your business bookkeeping. There's checklists in the book. There's just a lot of great information in there. Planning for retirement, or what are you doing when you are retired already, and how can you make your money stretch?
Wow. Okay, that's
a lot in there.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot.
I think I'm going to have to send you a copy.
Yes, definitely. Because my wife will be very happy that you send us that. Let me tell you, she's the one who. So here's an example of my math. We're going to go out and purchase something, and it's, let's just say, $2,400, and I save $1,000 on it, and I'm like, whoa! I just got it. Instead of for $2,400, I spent $1,400 on it. We have $1,000 now to spend. And she's like, no, that's Iris math. That's not real math. So that's why she handles our money, not me.
That's smart.
So
she's keeping you out of the poorhouse.
She really is. She does such a good job with our money. It's pretty incredible. So God, I have like a million questions for you. So you help people get organized and save money and give them time to enjoy their lives. How do you do that?
So the main thing that we've been doing, I am celebrating 26 years in business, not 21. So the main thing that we've been doing is just really the bookkeeping and bill pay. I started this business working with the senior population, the 80 to 100-year-olds that are really just overwhelmed and they wanted someone to help them. And when I was networking at some senior organizations, someone said to me, do you only work with senior, Judy? And I said, no, I could work with any age, not realizing. So, we work with a lot of clients that have multiple properties. These are vacation homes. Sometimes one might be a rental. We track all of that for them. We work closely with their financial advisors, their CPAs. We're running reports for them. You're not going to see a line item that says credit card payment. You'll see that all broken down. So they know exactly what they're spending their money on. And honestly, Iris, I don't think it matters if you have a little money or a lot of money. You need to know your numbers. That is so important. You need to know what you're spending, because another thing, we find when we started with a new client, oftentimes they signed up for something and they didn't know they had it. And here it is years later, and they're still paying $30 for AOL charges or some other ridiculous thing. You check the little tiny boxes that you didn't notice you checked off when you ordered something that you thought was going to be $15, and now they're charging you $90 a month for the rest of your life for this thing that you don't want. So we do a lot of forensic bookkeeping too to help our clients.
That's awesome. I actually, about 2 months ago, I looked in my PayPal account because, I was looking at my account and it's like, this came out. And I'm like, what the hell am I paying for? So I actually looked in to my current subscriptions. I've been paying for shit for like 5 years that I didn't even know I was paying for. And I don't even use it anymore. So I quickly unclicked everything, but yeah, you're 100% right. People just don't know. And, you said 80 to 100-year-olds. That to me blows my mind. I mean, I know that people live that long, but I mean, what do they do? I guess I thought that when they get to that point that their children would maybe take over or help or something.
Well, that's interesting. So there are lots of people that don't have children, or their children are, if they're 100, their children could be 75 or 80, and maybe they're not ready to do that. Or their children hate each other. That's pretty common too. The children don't like each other, or they don't want their children to know their personal finances still, even when they're in their 80s. There's that division of responsibility, and they don't want to be the child. They want to stay as the parent. So, and then oftentimes the children are hiring us to help their parents because they're not nearby and they need someone close. But we do have clients all over the country. But for the 80 and 100-year-old ones, I've had clients up to 107.
That's insane. I hope I live that long. That's just like, well, I hope I live that long and I have all of my, I have all of my, what do you call it? My faculties in place, right?
No, I'm looking at 95.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
I want the same brain. What?
Well, how old are you?
I have to say that on national TV.
No, but you're not. You said 95. I was like, there's no way you're okay. Thank you.
Until I'm 95.
Until you're 95.
No, I'm not 95.
Okay.
I'm 74.
Our family's going to listen to this. Our family's going to listen to this and be like, what the hell? Okay. So, so now I usually ask people, what made you decide to be an entrepreneur? But you've always been an entrepreneur, right? So let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. So I actually, like I said to you, I was born to be an entrepreneur because my mother in 1955 opened her own clothing store with no experience. Wow. She had a partner for 3 months. And in 1955, a woman doing that was unheard of.
Yeah.
So, she had a partner for 3 months who she bought out, and she just was self-taught. So I grew up in the business. I was 12 years old and I was wrapping gifts and accessorizing, putting a necklace on something here and there. It was women's clothing, and making bows. We had a bow machine. And then when I was probably a little older, they started taking me. My dad ended up going in the business too. And then my parents ended up taking me to New York on buying trips, or I'd be there when the salesman would come in. I just learned a lot from them. And then I had some experience working for, I worked in Bloomingdale's in their training program years ago. And then I worked at Casual Corner. I don't know if they're still in business, in their training program, 100 years ago. And just then my dad said to me one day, do you want to come work for us? I knew that was like, I wasn't going to do that for a year or two and then leave. That was a commitment. So I said, okay. And that's when I started working there. And then my parents retired. But even when I was younger, like in college, I'd come home and I'd work in the store all summer, and then they'd go on vacation. They gave me a lot of responsibility, and I really learned a lot. And so that's why I say I was born to be an entrepreneur. I haven't really worked for too many other people.
Wow. That's pretty awesome.
It's good and bad,
Yeah. And, and it's funny because being on the end where I have worked for people, I really embrace entrepreneurship because there's like a lot of good reasons, right? Yes, you do work for yourself. However, you really work for your clients. But, I feel that I'm responsible for my own destiny. And I feel that, it's my values, it's my culture. And that's what I think I embrace more than anything, because I can bring my clients the value that they need on their terms, not just my terms. You work for a company, and even in a partnership, it's not just you, you have somebody else to consider. And my clients work with me because they want to work with me. Right. And I don't want to, I'm not that person, and people are going to be shocked when I say this, but I'm not that person that wants like hundreds of clients. I don't want that. That's not my jam. For me, I want to, I want to have enough clients that I know them, I know their kids, I know their birthdays. I can, I don't know, hang with them via Zoom, whatever, but we have a relationship. And that's what it's about for me is, having that relationship, having a little community within my business. So, and I was talking with somebody last week who felt the same, and we were laughing because everybody we know is like, I want hundreds of clients and I want to make 7 figures and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I don't really give a shit about 7 figures. I mean, would it be nice? Sure. I'm happy with 6 in a median lane. I'm good with that. I don't need to be a millionaire. I want to be able to bring value to people. And what you do, I mean, you bring value to people. Not only do you bring value to people, you show them how to handle their value and their assets and everything else. And so I think that's, pretty.
Well, the relationships are the most important piece.
100%.
People do business with people they like. And so I also feel like I want to have relationships with my clients. I want to know, we know a lot about them. I have a lot of their sensitive information. We know everything about them. And so it's really important. The trust issue is important. It's very important.
Well, I think that we're not going to work with somebody that we don't know, like, and trust.
Exactly.
Right. I mean, at the end of the day, I think that's what it really boils down to. And and especially what you do, you're handling their money and their finances and guiding them on that. They have to trust you.
Yeah. And we have all their sensitive information. We have their social security numbers, account numbers, everything, date of birth. So they have to trust us.
100%.
Yeah.
So, you never worked for corporate before. So not going to ask you that, right? Because obviously, that's not it. But so you've been in business with Judith Heft and Associates for 26 years.
Yes.
What did you do before that? You worked for your family's retail store?
Yes, I was.
You ran it.
I ran my parents retired. I bought them out and ran the store. And then the retail economy was just really changing. You couldn't compete with all the discounters. Even Lord & Taylor and Bloomingdale's having a sale every other day, get this coupon 20% off. What they were selling it for on discount is what we were paying for it. So it was just really hard to compete. The rent was getting sky high. It was just out of whack. And the business was just not going to make it. We couldn't afford to, support ourselves with it. And so it was just time to make a change, which was really hard. It was a difficult change. Honestly, I'll tell you, my father passed away the same year I had to close the store. My mom was visiting, and after the funeral, and I had to go tell her that we were closing the store, and she took it like a trooper. I was so amazed. I mean, she was just really strong about it because that was her baby. That was a long time ago. But, she understood, and it was good. It was a really hard decision to close the store. And then I was like, what am I going to do? I don't have any skills, I thought. I don't want to work retail for anybody else. Here I am. So, I took a little bit of time off, and then I did some temping here and there. And then I just kind of reinvented myself. And I started, I had a couple of other businesses in between, jewelry businesses and things that I knew. And then I just was, someone had said to me, at a place I was temping, someone said to me, can you help my husband? He has a painting business and he needs a bookkeeper. And I said, sure, why not? I can do that. And then so I was doing that. And then I started networking. And then I was working at a hedge fund, and one of the guys came to me and he said, can you help my parents? They're not paying their bills or forgetting. They're in their 80s. They have plenty of money. Things are slipping through the cracks. And I said, sure. And I went over and I met them and I thought, this is what I want to be doing. I want to be helping people. And that's how I started this business, working with the senior population. And then it just kind of blossomed from there. I was networking at a senior organization. I've really built this business organically. I'm pretty proud of that. I was networking at a senior organization, and someone said to me, do you only work with seniors? And I said, no. And so it kind of, I'm not realizing that there are a lot of young people out there that needed our services. So I started, in the beginning, I don't know about you, when you start a business, you do a lot of extra stuff because you don't know really where you're going to be, where the most value is. So I was doing home office organizing and other things like that. And so this woman who was running one of the assisted living places came up to me, and then she's the one that said that to me. And I said, no, sure, I can work with you. I went over to her house. She was high powered. She had left a big job at IBM and running this nursing home or assisted living place. And then she was just like, but she wasn't functioning at home. The bills would come, she wouldn't pay them. Everything was on the dining room table. People would come over, she'd just shove it off the dining room table and throw it in a shopping bag in the closet. So I went over there and I created a filing system for her. And I actually found her a $16,000 check that she didn't know she had.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. And these were the days where, also like the cable people would call you and say, give me your routing number and your account number over the phone, and so you're not late, we won't disconnect you. So that's what she was doing. So I got her all set up and organized, and I worked with her for quite a few years till she felt like she took her life back. She was going through a lot. She had a little depression. Both of her parents had passed away. She just had a lot going on. So that's how I started really, building it that way. And it was great. And I really enjoyed that. So I eventually got away from the organizing. Now we're back doing organizing again because we have more people working for us, and I have a lot of organizers on my staff. I have 3 organizers. So
well, okay. So when you say organizers, what do you mean by that?
Well, we have a division called the Lifestyle Concierge Business, and really in that division, we do everything. So we're doing a lot of, like, for instance, okay, I'll tell you. So this morning I met with a client, and she said that she feels like her files are a mess. Her digital and her paper files are a mess. She's just really overwhelmed, and she wants someone to help her. She doesn't know if she should, she has old files. She doesn't know how long she needs to keep them. What does she need for her insurance? That type of stuff. So we're going to go back there and help her get all of that organized too. Those types of things. We helped a woman who was, first we helped her downsize from her New York City apartment to her home in Greenwich, an elderly woman, and we coordinated the whole move. I had someone down in the city and someone here in Connecticut, and then we've been helping her. Her house was older and needed a lot of repairs, so we were actually the GC of the whole thing for her because she couldn't handle this herself. Her kids don't live nearby. Wow. So we vetted the contractors, and now she decided it was time for her to move into independent living. So we helped her do that. We vetted a realtor for her. We're helping her figure out what furniture to take, what she can get rid of. So those kinds of things. We had a client that had a summer place that they can't go to anymore. So we vetted a realtor in that area so that they could get rid of it. They're not around. So anything like that. We've arranged tutors. We helped a divorced woman. This is funny. Our first lifestyle client was a divorced woman who needed help changing her name. Wow. So we helped her with that, and she said, I'm never getting married again, the usual I hate men kind of thing. Right. And then just recently, almost 2 years later, she came back. She said, I met someone. I'm getting married, and I need help changing my name again. It was kind of cute. So, yeah.
That's nice. See, and I mean, that kind of personalized service, that's cool. And that's really why I got into business was there was a company that I was working for that did things a little bit differently than I would have. And this was like years and years and years ago. And I started my first business with the clients that they pissed off, but I had a non-compete or an NDA or whatever it was for like 8 years, or not 8 years, for 8 months. No, so I couldn't do anything. Years. No, not 8 years. That would be like, you can't work for 8 years. Right, exactly. But I couldn't help them. So they would call me up and be like, I need you. I need help with this. I need that. And I'm like, I can't do anything for 8 months, but in 8 months I can. Well, at the end of those 8 months, I had 100 clients. It was nuts. Oh yeah. Wow. I'm not even exaggerating. I was like, holy shit. I didn't know what to do because everybody wanted to come over. So I had to organize it, which if anyone in my family will tell you back then, it was a feat. But I got everybody organized. I got everything that they needed. And I was going pretty strong for about 3-4 years. And then businesses closed. They didn't need it anymore, whatever happened. So I ended up having to go back and work for people, which after you work for yourself, that sucks big time.
Yes.
But I did it for a few years. And then I was working for a certain cable company doing advertising sales. And the woman that hired me knew who I was, loved who I was, and thought I was perfect in the role. The person, she got transferred somewhere. The person that took over wanted me to wear dresses and makeup and do all that. And I'm like, that is not me. And that's not how I'm going to sell. I ended up selling more money. Like, they fired me. I'll be completely transparent. Oh yeah, I got put on a plan. Meanwhile, my number for the year was 350, and I was at 280 when I got fired in May. So
that was their mistake. But that's also, I was thinking as you were talking before, that's quite a testament to you that 100 clients came over to you that wanted you so badly.
It was insane. So after all of that happened, my wife and I were in the mall, and two of their customers literally went, there she is. And I ran into Victoria's Secret, and I ran into the dressing room figuring I'm safe, right? They're men, they're never going to come back there. And I hear, I know you're in there. And I was like, you got to be kidding. I'm like, well, I'm trying on a bra. I can't talk to you right now, right? But they freaking waited. And I said, I can't do anything for 8 months. I said, I can give you some advice on what you need to do, but I can't actually do the work for you. So they said, well, let me pay you for that. And I'm like, no, I can't do that. it's like illegal.
Right.
So no. So after the 8 months, these people were like rabid. They were just like, I need a website. I need help with this. I need consulting. I need this. And so it was just, it was kind of crazy. But shoot, I forgot what I was saying right after. Oh, so I got fired on my birthday, no less.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, right? And then one of my clients said, or one of the, their customers was like, hey, let's start a business together. And I was like, well, I don't know. But so we weighed the pros and cons and we did it. And it lasted for about 5 years. And then, 5 years, it was like, I really don't want to work with a partner. Then I got into another partnership, which was fantastic. It was really, really great. And we decided that, he wanted to get his company to a different level than I did. So he's pursuing his dreams and I'm doing what I'm doing. And it's fine. We're friends still and everything. But I really realized that, working with a partner is really, you're not working by yourself. Even though it's your own company, there's still somebody else there to consider. And I feel that for what I want to accomplish, not a lot of people have the same goals that I do. So
I think that when you have a partner, though, you have to think about division of responsibilities. Like one person is usually the integrator and the other one is the visionary. And so, you have to define your roles really. And
right. But I think our visions were different. Right. Yeah. So
same vision.
Right. So, and again, it's fine because where I am now is where I want to be. What he's doing, he wants to do. And I actually send them business once in a while. So
that's great. That's great.
Yeah, because there's certain things that, they do that I don't. And I know that they're phenomenal at it. So I have no problem, sending people over there. But, okay. So for somebody who's thinking about becoming an entrepreneur, maybe they're in a job currently, maybe they're sick of their job because, the whole great resignation thing. What advice do you have for them, especially as a financial advisor? So this will be interesting because everybody else has not been that. So,
I think you need to know what you're doing. I think, what I did when I started was I took some courses. I taught myself QuickBooks because that's what I needed. And, I think just get out, networking because people do business with people they like, as we said already, get to know people. But first, the most important thing is to have a business plan and really figure out what you want to do, what's important to you and what you think. Have a vision. You have to have a vision. And don't be afraid to spend money because it costs money to have your own business. It really does. You have to spend it to make it. My father used to say, you can't sell bread from empty shelves. I always remember that. And I try to keep that in my mind. Like, you need to grow, and growth sucks cash, but you need to get to a point where you can't do everything yourself. I think when we started as entrepreneurs, like I said before, I think, we want to do everything ourselves because it's just awesome. We're afraid to spend money on hiring people, but there's so many virtual assistants out there now. That I think it's much easier than it used to be because people are remote. So, there's a lot of virtual assistants. Hire a virtual assistant if you can, and just really, but I think the most important thing is to sit down and, make a list of what you think you want to do and really do the pros and cons about it. Because it's not easy. It's not for everybody. Entrepreneurship is definitely not for everybody.
No, it's definitely not for the weak-hearted. That's
right. It can be stressful. You have a bad month and you're like, oh shit, why did I do this? I could have been making all this money in corporate. There's no pension plans. There's no 401ks, that somebody's matching. You can have your own things, but nobody's matching anything. You have to pay your own Social Security, your company's paying that. And it's expensive, to be self-employed. It really is. A lot of people think, it's interesting. So people think it's so glamorous. I remember I was at a luncheon one day. It was last time. It must have been pre-COVID, I guess, because I wasn't at a luncheon recently. But anyway, and I said, I have to get back to work. And then somebody said to me, you're your own boss. You don't have to get back to work. And, that's why I have to get back to work, because I'm the boss.
Exactly. Because,
you have all this freedom. You can run around and travel. Yeah, that comes with time. But you have to, build up to it or earn it or, get there.
Right.
It doesn't happen overnight. And you need to be confident. You have to have a lot of confidence.
100%. 100%. And I think the other, the funny thing for me is people think that because you have your own business, you're loaded. You're like, oh, you're loaded. And it's like, no, I may be at a certain level, but I am certainly not loaded. I had this guy, this was like a few weeks ago, trying to sell me something. And I said, it's not in the budget right now. He's like, you own your own business. What are you talking about? And I was like, what are you talking about? Like, are you even kidding? Like, why are we even, I was kind of like, why are we even having this conversation?
Right.
Like, if you think that I have a lot of money because I own my own business, well, then you're the shittiest salesperson out there because obviously you didn't do your homework. So, but I didn't say that.
It's not as glamorous as everybody thinks it is. Let's put it that way. I mean, you got to sweep the floor and clean the sink and, wipe things down yourself, because it's your business. I mean, I learned that a long time ago, being in the family retail business, we had a vacuum at the end of the day. Who else was, going to do it?
Right. And I'm fortunate to not have had brick and mortar.
Yeah. Brick and mortar is a lot different.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Absolutely. And I'm almost thankful for that because I love being remote. I can work for anybody anywhere and I can work from anywhere. I have one of my clients who was in Hawaii and she's like, well, can we meet at 6:00 my time, which is like midnight, our time. And I was like, sure. I said, can we keep it to an hour? Cause it's midnight. I was on the phone with her because we're also friends. Cause all of my clients, right? I mean, I'm friends with most of them. We're like bullshitting till 3 a.m. I'm like, oh my God, it's like 3 a.m. Right. So, but it was fun and I didn't mind, but, it's not glamorous. I think that when it's not for everybody. It takes a certain type of person.
Another thing I thought of too, you have to be a risk taker.
100. Oh, absolutely. You
have to be a gambler and a risk taker. You have to be willing to take risks because sometimes you just have to do stuff that you're not 100%, but like 90%, like, yeah, it's going to be good. But then you're wavering because like, oh, should I do it? Should I not do it? You need to be gutsy.
Right. It's kind of like close your eyes and okay, I'm pressing the button. Here I go, because I've done that. It's, I'm actually looking at hiring a salesperson now, which is the hardest thing that I've ever done because I've always been the face of whatever company I've been in, right? That I've owned. And people want to work with me. So to send somebody out to sell my products, that's not me. If I tell you like I'm verklempt, I'm a mess right now because I'm going to be speaking with him next week and I'm probably going to do it because I am not, I had a conversation today where I realized that I'm a marketer. I'm not really a salesperson. Can I do sales? Yeah, but it's not traditional sales. And I don't, I want to provide solutions. And not that salespeople don't want to do that. They do, but there's
then they're done after they make the sale.
Yeah, there's like a certain language. There's a certain language they speak that I don't. And I always thought I was great at sales. And I mean, I am for some things, but yeah. So that's going to be next week. And I'll let you know how that turns out because that's going to be, I'm like literally having anxiety over it. But I think it'll be good because I need to be able to step out of that role in order for me to be able to scale the way that I want to. Yeah. So
I'll tell you another thing that really helped me and really kind of changed my life personally and professionally. About 6 years ago, I hired a wonderful coach. Well, first I thought I needed a coach and I knew this guy and I worked with him for about 6 months on a one-on-one and he was great. He's a fantastic coach. But after 5 months, I felt like I needed something more. And at the time when I hired him, I was debating whether or not to go with this other program. And I decided after the 5 months, I stuck it out the 6 months with him and he helped me a lot, that it was time for me to join another program where there would be more people involved and I'd be able to learn from everybody else too, which was great. And so I was in a coaching program with Fabian Fredrickson, who was my mentor and coach for 4.5 years. And that really helped me a lot. And when you said something before that made me think about her, when you said, I'm a marketer, I'm not a salesperson. One of the things that she taught us is that we are all marketers. You have to be a marketer to have your business.
Yes.
Really
What was her last name?
Fredrickson, Fabienne Fredrickson. Boldheart is the name of her company.
Okay. I have
Amazing.
Okay. There's somebody that is become a friend of mine also so we're in a group called the Dames, and it's for women 6 figures and over. Actually, we should talk about that. But Fabienne Raphael is who I was talking to. So you said Fabienne. I was like, oh, wait a minute, but different Fabienne.
But that helped me a lot. And not only did I learn from her, but, we had 4 times a year, we had in-person meetings. And, so there were like 50 people there, and you learn from all of their ideas, things that they knew, because at that point I didn't have any partners. I was just me. I have a partner now, but you know what I mean? I was just trying to learn myself and learn a lot about business. And even though I've been an entrepreneur all my life, there's still a lot to learn.
Oh, absolutely.
And I'm always learning anyway. Right. And so it was great. Just books I had never heard of that were recommended to me and different things. And she taught me how to delegate, and she taught me how to work on the business and not in the business. So,
and that's the key, is on it and not in it. And
exactly. And I do a lot of that.
Yeah. And I've been really working, and that's why I want to get the salesperson in, so that I can work on the business, because I have, a vision, and I have this, this culture that I want to be, really, I'm very passionate about it. I'm, all inclusive, and I want people to feel, what is it? Rising tides lift ships up, something like that. Yeah, that's what, I don't know the right saying. I should Google it, but it's like the rising tide lifts the ship or something like that. But that's what I want. I want people to be lifted up and to feel valued and to know that their opinion matters.
It would be really important to do, and it helped me a lot, is to make a list of what your core values are of your company before you hire this salesperson, so he knows what you're all about.
I have that.
You have your core values?
Yeah, I have it written down. That's part of it, is to,
that's important.
He and I met at a mixer that it's a local mixer that this guy, Mark Brandyberry, and I want to have him on at some point because he's a trip. But he does this thing called the 445 Club. And it's just, you meet at this restaurant, Red 7 downtown Lafayette, and we meet at 4:45 till 6:00 and just kind of hang out, talk about business a little bit, and
build relationships.
Absolutely. And that's where I met this guy. And so we're going to talk a little further and see, because he seemed like a lot of the things that he was saying, I was like, oh, okay, you may be the guy. Because if I tell you how many people I interviewed, and I was just like, I wouldn't let you walk my dog, never mind represent my business. So, which is, I'm super, super particular about it.
Okay. Particular about your business.
Well, yeah.
Your name. So it's you.
So for entrepreneurs, seasoned entrepreneurs that are listening now, what obstacles have you had to overcome? Because, people listening maybe going through stuff right now and need some. And I know this is very generic, but you don't know exactly what everybody's going through. So what are some of the obstacles that you went through, and how did you overcome them?
I think, honestly, I'm still going through some obstacles. It's certainly not all candy here, sugar and roses, whatever the expression is. But anyway, no, so I think growth is really hard. With hiring more and more employees, there's just all different things that you have to think about that when it's just you or 1 or 2 other people, you don't think about. We have 12 employees here. So it's just, a lot of different personalities, getting the right person, communicating. Oh, I don't know, just, knowing when is the right time not to accept a client. Sometimes, in the early years, you take on every client, and then it's just knowing how to be selective and knowing to say no. It's okay. No is a complete sentence. This is not a good fit for me. I'll recommend somebody else to you. I can refer you, but this is not what we do. So I think that's really important. Learning how to say no is a good thing to overcome. And just, dealing with all the different, there's a lot to think about. There's all the different insurances you have to know about. Those are difficult. So I think it really helped me having a great coach. that really helped me overcome a lot of my obstacles. And I still have fear around it. I still have a little fear around letting go sometimes because I'm so used to doing it myself that, sometimes it's easier just to do it yourself, but that's not the right answer.
Right.
You need to learn how to delegate and learn how to back off. And maybe it's not going to be 100% perfect, but 95 is okay too. Nobody's going to be you. You're not going to be able to clone yourself. Everybody's going to be a little different. And maybe, you'll learn that some of the things that they're doing are even better than what you're doing.
Right. And I think that's what I'm kind of looking forward to, because I know sales wise, he'll blow it out of the park. I just have to make sure personality wise that's going to be, the good fix. But I think you're 100% right. Saying no it's so hard. Sometimes.
It's hard when you're growing.
Yeah.
Because you want to grow and you want to reach a certain point. And so you don't want to turn clients down, but it's smarter to turn them down than to take the wrong ones.
And I've learned that because, there were certain clients that I took knowing, that little voice in your head is like
the itty bitty shitty committee. That one?
Yes, the itty bitty shitty committee. Don't do it. Oh, but it's going to be this much a month. Don't do it. And you freaking do it because you think it's a good idea, and it ends up costing more.
Of course.
At the end of the day, because they're this like high maintenance client that needs your, they're texting you at 10 o'clock at night. I literally had to fire a client because, oh my God, it was in the beginning when I first started the company, and I wanted to do added value, which I have no problem with that. But you talk about going above and beyond. I went above and beyond. And I can't get into detail because if I say it and they're listening, they're going to know who it is. So I'll tell you about that next time I see you. But it was just unbelievable. And texting me at 10 o'clock at night. And me going, it's 10 o'clock at night. Well, yeah, but this isn't right. It's 10 o'clock at night. This, if it's an emergency and your hair's on fire, call, but not 10 o'clock at night. So I sent this long email, and I've saved it, of boundaries.
Boundaries are so important in business.
You do not understand boundaries. Clearly, you do not respect my time. And I was, very tactful, which my wife was very impressed because, New Yorker, part of me, like, I think I wrote it 3 times, like, what the fuck is wrong with you texting me at 10 o'clock at night? But of course, I'm not going to send that. But I think I wrote it just because it was cathartic to get it out there, right?
And I'll tell you, firing clients can be very cathartic when it's not the right client.
Oh, it was amazing.
Relief, right?
Yeah, it really was. I sent, so I sent the email or I wrote it out and I said, I'm going to do this last thing for you. And I'll meet you on Monday and then we're going to have a conversation. And when I got there, because I didn't want to do that piece over email.
Right. No, that's
and I just told her, I said, you know what, this is just, it's not working for me. It may be working for you and maybe it's not working for you, but it's not working. So let's just part ways.
Iris, I had a situation like that with a client who was constantly texting me on the weekends all the time. And you know what I ended up doing? I got a new phone with a different number. I couldn't deal with it. And now that phone, we still have that phone, but now that's our office phone that we use, and it's an extra cell phone that we need it for codes and things like that from the banks and stuff though. But yeah, I got a new cell phone number and no clients have it.
Wow. And you could block that person too. So
yeah, I know, but he was a client. I couldn't block him at that point.
Well, no, at that point.
It was annoying. It was like, I was so happy to be done with him when it was over.
Yeah.
It was really good to get rid of him. But some people are just so rude.
Oh, yeah.
Disrespectful. But for the most part, let's not go there because for the most part, most clients are great.
100%. No, and that's the thing. I don't want to get negative.
Yeah.
Everybody that I work with now, I am beyond thrilled. But that's what I mean. It's like, and so let's get into the, authenticity, right? When you're your authentic self, you attract the right people to you. And I wasn't being exactly my authentic self back then because I'm New Yorker living in Lafayette, Indiana, so I my coach actually told me to be less me. So yeah, so I did. So I pulled back a little and I attracted all the wrong people. Now that I'm being authentic, and there's no, I mean, look, you're going to be your authentic self, but there's also, a certain business acumen that you have to have, right? You're not going to walk into a meeting like, how are you?
No, you have to be professional.
You have to be professional.
You can still be yourself and be professional.
100%. Oh yeah. Well, but I think that we are, right? I mean, we're entrepreneurs, so we are professional. So, but I think that because of that, I've attracted the right people, and it's a whole different ballgame. I don't have one client that I'm not happy with.
That's
at all.
Great. That's wonderful.
Which is phenomenal. It's so much less stressful, right? It's just, it's really nice.
And that way, I think because you're not stressing you out, the clients that you have, that you're giving them better service, because even though that one particular client, it doesn't stress you out, when the other one does, it definitely flows over. You can't help it.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I can't help it. I don't know about you, but it's like, that's
no, I wear my heart on my sleeve like you. Yeah. I mean, right. And I had clients when I was working with her saying, "You okay today? Like and I'm not going to complain about a client to another client." Not. So I was like, "Yeah, I'm just, it's a day, it's a day." So, but I don't have that anymore. That was literally 8 years ago. So, but for those of you, listening, you are at some point going to have that client, and there's nothing wrong with it, but not to get negative. My friend Steph was like, don't talk about the negative stuff, but that is part of the reality. I mean, not everything is sunshine and roses as much as we want it to be.
Right.
It's not. And that's going to be, one bad apple. It's not the whole bunch. Yeah. So,
but I also believe that what you put out there in the universe is what you get back.
Oh my God, 100%. Yes.
You got to keep your positive thoughts out there, and shit happens, but
100%. So, question for you, and I know this is going to be, so for people listening out there, why would somebody choose you to take care of their financial stuff, to do their financial organization, to do all of that, as opposed to your competitor? And I know, I hate the word competitor, because I think that there's enough out there for everybody, and everybody's different. So what is your differentiator? How's that?
So I think that, we're passionate about what we do. We give a lot of attention to detail. We're available for our clients within, reasonable hours, of course, and business hours, unless, there might be an emergency. But there's never emergencies in our business, because we're on top of everything. I have a great team. We have team meetings every week. We have project management software where everything's documented. Nothing slips through the cracks. I have experienced bookkeepers on my team. We just, we're highly recommended by other financial professionals. I just think, because also I have the experience. I've been doing this for so long. It's just, I know a lot of the ins and outs. I have a lot of good suggestions, and, we brainstorm on our weekly meetings with the bookkeepers, and, they let us know what's going on. And it's such a great team that nobody is afraid to ask questions. And that's really what I wanted. I wanted them to be able to be, we're not going to judge you. If you don't know something, ask the client, because they'd rather have you ask them than, put the wrong answer in there or categorize something wrong. It's better just to ask the question. So I think we try to be open and honest and, caring and loving to our clients. And just, I have a great team. I really do. So I don't know why they chose me, but it's showing. I mean, I'm getting a lot of people choosing me. I'm choosing our firm. It's just all the networking. I have a lot of great relationships with other people, and I'd say 90% or 95% of the business even is referral based. We get a little bit from the website, but it's mostly from referrals.
And that says a lot. That says a lot about you and about Judith Heft and Associates. I think that what you said is so, important about caring about the clients and loving, because they know, a client can tell, right, when you care or if you're just being performative.
Of course.
And so I love that that's one of the differentiators. So for all of y'all listening out there, here is somebody who is very passionate about what she does and what her business does. And so anybody looking for any financial help or financial organization and all the things, reach out to Judy, and you could reach her at linkedin.com/IN Judy Heft. We're scrolling it down along the bottom a bunch. And then your book, you want to say the name of why don't you say both of your books, Mastering Your Financial Life Cycles.
That's the most recent one. I co-authored that with my CFO, Liz Levy. And the other one is 5 years. I wrote it 5 years ago. It's How to Be Smart, Successful, and Organized with Your Money for Better Today and Tomorrow.
There you go.
So, and I've been blogging for about 10 years now. And I actually just started my own podcast. It's Mastering Your Financial Life. So I'm excited about that. We've recorded about 4 episodes already. So that's
congratulations.
Cool. Thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna have you come on. Absolutely. I definitely want you to be a guest.
I would love to. I would be honored to be a guest.
Great. Yeah, that'd be fun.
So you're on all of the like Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and so did you go through podcast.co?
No, I'm working with a company called their original company is Phone Blogger. I forget the name of their podcast company now. I've known this guy for like 10 years. I've been working with him. He came to me and he said, I'm doing podcasts now. Do you want to do it? And I was like, I don't know. And then it was like, all right, okay, I'll do it. And
yes,
so I just bit the bullet and said, yes, I'll do it. And, that's when I started doing blogging. He said, let's do some blogging together. I'm like, I don't know. Anyway, so I've been working with them for a long time. So I can't remember. Video podcast. I don't know. It's called VIP. I forget what it is. Honestly.
Okay. Because we use podcast.co and that goes to, it's like Apple Podcasts and Spotify.
Yeah,
and
I'm on all of those. Stitcher, it's on my YouTube. I have a YouTube channel and that's where they are too. And,
so what's the name of the YouTube channel?
Judith Heft Associates.
Okay. So everybody go listen to Judith's, Judy's podcast. And is it a video podcast as well?
Yes, it is.
Awesome. Okay, so it's on YouTube at Mastering Your Financial Life Cycles. Is that right?
No, the podcast is just Mastering Your Financial Life.
Well, hell. Okay, Mastering Your Financial Life. Go check that out. And the last thing I ask all of my guests, first I want to say this has been amazing. I can't believe, we haven't gotten to talk. Last time I saw you was at the wedding.
Exactly.
And who the hell was talking at the wedding? Everybody was
not me.
Everybody was eating their cake. That should have been an omen. But
is that an omen?
No.
It was a good wedding though.
It was an amazing wedding. I mean, come on. It was at the Bowery Hotel, Lower East Side, Saturday Night Live. Saturday night.
I danced every single dance. I was, I probably lost 20 pounds just from dancing.
So I think we danced most of the dances, and I bought these shoes because I don't wear heels or anything. And I bought this with like this teeny little heel, and the stupid things were cutting into me, and I threw them in the garbage and continued to dance. And when we left, I forgot somebody drove us. I was walking barefoot on the Lower East Side going, oh my God, please don't let me catch anything because this was like the Lower East Side.
Pre-COVID too, who knew?
No, well, it was pre-COVID, thank God. But but it was an amazing wedding. So, so this is awesome. So we'll have to just talk offline anyway, more often for sure. So the last question that I ask everybody, and this is how I kind of send it off, is what lights your fire? What is the one thing that gets you fired up? And it doesn't have to be business. It could be personal. It could be, I know the answer already. So what lights your fire?
That's an easy answer for me. My 5 grandchildren.
Yes, I knew you were going to say that.
Oh my God, they're just so adorable and delicious. The baby's 3. The oldest one is going to be 9 in a couple of weeks. And I just want to eat them up. They're delicious. I have so much fun with them.
That is amazing. Wait, so Sadie's going to be 9?
Yeah, in 2 weeks.
Holy shit.
28th, June 28th.
Oh my God.
So I get to see all my grandkids every week. And it's just been wonderful.
That's amazing.
They're delicious. They really are fun. They make me laugh. They're cute. I have to tell you, Sadie wrote me a Mother's Day card that said, because I see her every week. I pick her up from school and then I take her to Hebrew school. Aww. And then I hang out and then we hang out afterwards. And so she wrote me a Mother's Day card that said, you help me, you love me, I love you.
Aw. Hey, do me a favor, put a good word in for me, because every time I see her, she has a fit. So I would really, and we're going to be in New York, and she's going to be in camp, so I'm not going to get to see her.
Oh, you're going to be in this summer?
Yeah, we're actually coming in. Well, I'm not going to say the dates online, but yeah, we are. And the day that, so Willa and Leo are coming to Cousin Lisa's that Saturday, and you should come if you can. And then the next day is Visitors Day at Sadie's camp. So,
oh, okay.
And
that weekend. Yeah, I know that weekend. Who's Lisa? Lisa. Oh, Lisa.
Cousin Lisa. Gottlieb on my side. On Long Island, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So, see, I talk to New Yorkers, everyone in my Long Island. My Long Island comes out. So,
so I hope I get to see you. How long are you going to be here?
Just for a week. But try to come talk to Willa about that Saturday, because Susan's coming down, I think. I haven't seen Susan in 20 years.
Well, you saw her 10 years ago at the wedding.
Well, yeah, but we didn't really, so, well, actually, no, that's a lie. I haven't seen her. We went to New York for Thanksgiving maybe like 16 years ago. So, okay. But anyway, so yes. So see if you can come down for that. That would be amazing. Because you're in Connecticut, right?
What day is that? The day before or after the
day before? The
day before she goes to camp?
No. She'll be in camp already. It's Visitors Day.
I mean, the day before visiting day.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, okay.
Don't say the date.
So, I won't say the date. I would never
my wife is like, I don't want anybody knowing when we're out of town. We'll get robbed.
Of course not. So, no, you're right. It's probably not a good thing to do. But yeah, I have that. I know the date.
Yes, we'll figure it out. So that date, I'll message you and we'll figure something out. But for everybody listening to like this part, that's what happens with family. So
right.
Thank you so much for being on. This has been amazing.
Thank you, Iris. Thank you for reaching out and inviting me. I'm so happy that we got to do this.
Me too.
I got to talk to you.
I know, me too. Well, we're going to talk more.
Yeah, definitely.
For sure. Absolutely.
You'll be a guest on my podcast too. We're booking
but now. We're going to talk. We could like Zoom and wine. That's like my favorite thing to do now. When I can't be with people, we Zoom and we wine.
There you go.
I mean, like drink wine, not complain wine. So
I know what you meant.
I know what you meant.
I don't want to Zoom and wine. I'll Zoom and wine.
Oh my God, what's going on? Yeah, no. So, well, thank you. And I will talk to you soon.
All right. Thanks so much.
Okay.
Good to see you.
You too. And everybody else, thank you for hanging in there. I know this is the first time I had family on, which is hilarious. I hope you had as much fun listening and watching this as we had making it. Again, thank you so much for hanging in, and thank you for the subscribers. I appreciate it. The comments, thank you so much. This all means so much, because this was something that I wasn't sure about doing, and now that I'm doing it, I don't want to stop. So keep me going. Keep leaving comments. If you have any suggestions, leave the suggestions. If you notice I didn't say as much, you know who you are. So thank you so much. And until next time, you guys go out, find what lights your fire. Bye, everyone.